Hi guys, thank you so much for all the comments from the last couple of videos. I just got to show you the shirt because I love this shirt. Look at this. Isn't that the greatest? That's my life in a shirt right there. That describes everything about me. So I've gotten wonderful requests for videos. One of them was to do more stories about sessions and whatnot. So this is tough for me because I tell people I have a memory like a steel thing that catches bears, and but I do remember a few stories. So I'm going to tell one today, and it's how I met the great, amazing legend Mark Herndon, was the drummer for Alabama for years and years and years and years. And he's on all the records. You see him on all the photos on the records. Super nice guy, super sweet guy. So it's a really funny story. So I got called to do a record for this girl named Leah. And Leah was from Fort Payne. And so we did it at Jeremy Stover produced, and we did it at the Ruckus Room. Over the years did a lot of records and a lot of #1 songs at the Ruckus Room. Jamie Tate was the engineer, and he was a drummer, and so he knew how drums supposed to sound, so he just got the greatest drum sounds. Anyway, back to Leah. So we show up, it's just another day in the studio, and Leah walks in, and there's a couple of guys just bouncing around, taking pictures, and just kind of flitting around and doing stuff. And so, we start the record and cut a song, cut a second song. Somewhere during the day, it's probably about the second song. We get to this rhythmic part of the song, and I'm trying to work out how I'm going to play it. And then all of a sudden in the talkback, there's this button. "Hey, Tommy, this is Mark. What if you played it like this?" And he sang this thing. And I had my back turned to the glass, and the console was behind me. And I looked over, and Troy Lancaster was sitting over there, and I could see him going like that. And the unspoken thing was because there are a lot of I don't want to say a lot. There's a few drummers that in town that can handle stuff like that. And then there's some guys that it can be a little, I don't want to say territorial, but it can kind of ruffle their feathers a little bit. A drummer is like a lead trumpet player in a big band. Drummers generally come with a pretty, not a small ego. So basically, the guys kind of looked at me like that, like, what's he gonna do? What's he going to say? And so I kind of thought about it, and I went, okay, let's do it. Let's try it. So we tried his approach, and it worked, and it was beautiful, and I didn't think twice about it. Went on in between songs, and we were in the green room. Jamie always had a popcorn maker in there, and so the place always smelled like popcorn. It was just beautiful. So I was in there, and Jeremy comes up to me and goes, "Hey man, I'm sorry he did that. That was Mark Herndon from Alabama." And I went, "Oh my God." I could have mowed down Mark Herndon from Alabama in the studio. Hallelujah. Thank God. I took the high road, and which is what I really always try to do. There's only been a couple of times that I kind of lost it. Probably only even one time that I kind of lost it in the studio. I really try not to do that because you just never know. The one of the things that I've learned from doing studio work for, God, it's been how many years? I started in '97 doing studio work full time. One of the things that I've learned, and I've actually learned the hard way, is that you never know who in the room that you take for granted that is kind of, doing something insignificant. You have no idea in 5 years they're going to be running a record label, or in 5 years they're going to be a head engineer producing this artist, producing that artist that you're going to want to be on. You never, ever take anybody for granted in the studio world and in the live world as well. You just never know. You just never know. And Nashville is a networking town, and it's a relationship town. And it's hard for me with relationships and networking because I haven't really ever told a lot of people this. I'm an ASPE. Took a test a few years back. I found out that a couple of my kids, I have 6 kids, so found out a couple of my kids were on the spectrum, and in the process of investigating how to help them and symptoms, I would read these symptoms and go, wait a minute. There's a reason why they have this. So I took this 4-hour-long test at this place in Nashville. And sure enough, he comes back and goes, "Yep, you're right on the spectrum." So I say that to say this: some people have a gift with dealing with people, and some people, it's like the old basketball story. You've got Michael Jordan that was just gifted. Everything he threw in there just was perfect, and then you had Larry Bird, who was equally as talented but had to work really hard at it to maintain. So that's I would never consider comparing myself to that level of what I do in my business, but I say that to say, for me, I had to work harder to be able to network. My daughter is studying psychology, my oldest daughter, so she is. So she's always calling me and reading books and going, "Now, when you do this, do you do this?" And she basically said, "Okay, I found out what's wrong. You have a thing called prosopagnosia." And I went, "What's that?" She said, "It's face blindness." And I went, "That makes sense, because I'll work for 2 days in the studio with somebody, and I'll see him 6 months later, and I'll be like, 'Hey man, what's going on?'" I've learned never to say, "Nice to meet you." I just don't say it. I say, "Good to see you." Good to see you works if you're meeting somebody. Good to see you definitely works when you're re-meeting somebody. But like me, sometimes you don't realize that you're re-meeting somebody because the cash has flushed. It's gone. So anyway, so Mark and I, getting back to Mark, we are good pals. We text each other every now and then. He's a very, very successful commercial air pilot now. Works for some multi-billionaire corporation or something like that. He was one of the pilots when Alabama had a plane, and that's kind of where he cut his teeth learning how to fly a jet plane. But he is the sweetest person. I love him. Every time I'm down in Fort Payne, I try to reach out to him. And we talk. We have war stories that we compare. Anyway, so I just wanted to share that story, and I'm going to try to go in the old memory banks and come up with more stories. All right, so there's one more thing that I want to talk about briefly. I just want to touch on it. When I started doing the YouTube videos and I stuck a name on them, 5 Minute Mondays, and then I would get all kinds of flack because some of them would be 10 minutes long. It's like, it's on 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, sorry that you learned more. Sorry you got 5 more minutes of knowledge. I hope I didn't inconvenience you. Sorry. All right, I'm being a smart aleck. The more you learn about me, you're going to realize that sarcasm is my love language. So, all right, so when I started doing the YouTube videos, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just kind of took some of the knowledge that I've learned, and a lot of it I had learned the hard way in the studios, going into the studios, trying stuff and going, that didn't work. And then trying something else, going, no, that didn't work. Trying something else, okay, that worked. But what I've done is over the past few weeks, I've really been laser focusing on, I've had this idea for 10 years, and I've shared it with maybe 3 people, about a website. And I don't want to say too much about it right now. It's going to be the type of thing, it's going to be like 5 Minute Monday times 1,000, with probably 300 play along songs played by the top studio musicians in Nashville. And that's just the beginning. It's got so much in that. It's going to be ridiculous. So what I'm going to do is I've actually come up with a curriculum. I've come up with a methodology of teaching. Some of the courses out there are taught backwards. In other words, the things that I use least are the things that are taught most, which are busy chops, complicated stuff. So the name of the website is it's going to be called Real World Chops. And at this point, I'm only going to open the door about that much. I'm probably going to start with 5 to 10 people, and that's it. And just to kind of, I'm going to create a beta group, and I'm going to take that beta group and compare what I've got, what I want to teach, and what they want to learn, and we're going to put them together. And so if you are interested, I will do a Zoom call with you, and if you're interested in it, send me either a comment, or I don't know if you can do private message on YouTube. I know you can do private message on Facebook. You send me a Facebook Messenger. Just find me on Facebook. You can even send a private Facebook message if you don't follow me on Facebook. And that's another thing that I'm getting ready to do, is start a Facebook drummers page, because I'm always stuck at 5,000 people that follow me, and I'm always having to go through and try to take out the dead accounts and add more, and I'm always got a list of people that want to follow. And thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm humbled by that. So if that's something that you might be interested in, then figure out a way to give me a shout, give me a comment. We'll figure out a way to do a Zoom call, and I'll let you know what we're doing. So I got more stories coming, so we'll do more. Today is a travel day, and tomorrow we are taking a tour of the Kenworth factory. Alabama has a beautiful truck. I think I showed it to you in one of the videos. And the Kenworth people supply that and sponsor the tour. So we're going to get to go to the factory tomorrow. So I'll try to get a little footage of that, and I'll put some of that up. And I hope you're doing well. If you can think of any more videos or any more ideas for one guy, he said I wanted to learn What Goes On by the Beatles. And so, man, a really, really cool pocket, a really different pocket, and that'll be fun. So if you have songs that you want to do, to learn, or to break down, give me those ideas as well. So, and I'm sorry that I took so long on this tonight, but that's it. I will talk more, and me and Bigfoot are going to go to bed now. So, bye.